Welcome everybody to another video. Today's video is on sleep and your proper hygiene for sleep. My name is Dr. Esha Kaushik. I'm a recent graduate of Sonora University and a resident for Dr. Virender Sodhi. Dr. Virender Sodhi here.
A very intelligent resident.
Oh, thank you. Dr. Virender Sodhi is the first naturopathic and Ayurvedic physician in the United States. He has a specialization in integrative oncology for almost 44 years now.
Integrative oncology, maybe 14, 15 years, but as a physician,
Yes.
44 years.
44
Yes,
years.
yes,
This,
yeah.
44 years this year. So we can go ahead and get started. This is a topic you've talked extensively about with many, almost all of your patients, is
Yes,
the
ma'am.
importance of proper sleep.
Yeah.
So let's talk about first, how do I know that I'm not getting the proper sleep? What are some things I might see?
Yeah, even before I go for that, in
Yes.
Ayurvedic health tips, they said they should have 3 pillars of health. One is your thought process.
Okay.
Second is your nutrition. Third is the sleep. So if you got master these 3 things, majority of the disease is gonna go away. So sleep is very important because all the repair work happens in our sleep.
Yes.
And so what I tell my patient is like, you go to the office and you work there and you create some mess in there, and then the night crew comes in and they clean out.
Right.
So the sleep is our clean out crew. We create a lot of different chemical processes in the body. Body is loaded with the toxic load, and then the night crew comes in and it cleans our body. So having a proper sleep is so important for all of us.
Great. That's actually good to know, and it's good to have that visualization because sometimes a lot of us might give up on our sleep. Like, okay, I have so much work to do.
Yeah.
I'll just sleep 3-4 hours, wake up early the next day.
Yeah.
But we need that to heal.
Very important, very important. So when you're not getting the proper amount of sleep, your mental faculties will be not very clean. You will have a hard time focusing. You will have less energy. You will not. Somebody says something to you and you will not understand that. Very easy. Even blood pressure goes up. There's a more heart attacks in people who don't get proper sleep. There's more cancer. People who work in graveyard shift, there's 50% more diseases, period. I remember one patient who came to me has a very malignant hypertension, and his blood pressure was not controlled with the 4 to 5 drugs.
Wow.
And we were asking, and his diet is very clean. He's a civil engineer, very high profile civil engineer. Everything is clean. He exercises. And then I asked him again, so you exercise too? He said, yeah. Then all of a sudden, I don't know what happened to me. I said, what time you go to exercise? He said, 12 o'clock. I said, 12 o'clock in the middle of the day? I said, no, at night. So what he was doing is, he was going against his body's natural rhythms.
Right.
And was creating a cortisol burst at the middle of night, and the body was reacting with having a high blood pressure.
Oh my God.
And when he fixed that, his blood pressure came down back to the normal. So simple thing, as people may not realize, that getting a good quality sleep is so important for all of us.
There's also a big difference in how your emotional state is when you're not getting the proper sleep. Can you talk on that a little bit?
Yeah, we all have seen that, when we're upset or something is on your mind. And there is in entrepreneurs, this called 3 o'clock phenomena. When they wake up 3 o'clock in the morning, because at that time the adrenal glands and your livers are exchanging the places.
Yes.
And if you're frustrated, irritable, angry, your liver is gonna kick, and then cortisol has to react. And so people wake up that time. So yes, so very important that when you walk into your bedroom, your room should be like a place where he says, okay,
I'm done.
I'm done. I'm gonna have a wonderful sleep. I think even we all have experiences, with our parents, our mother or father when we were young. When we're in their lap, we feel so protected, so loved, so careful, and you say, God, now I can take it, the word. So I think that kind of feeling you need to create when you go to the sleep. I have me and my wife have a small ritual. When we are going to the bedroom, we thank each other for being a partner. And then we thank the universe for accepting us to see this universe another day. And we are also looking for another day to come on this universe. So that gratitude is very important, that we express gratitude to this universe, because there's no guarantees, we all are perishable.
Right.
And no matter how much money we make, no matter how much name, fame, president of the country, we all gonna be perish.
Yes.
So be thankful is very, very important thing.
Mindfulness is
Mindfulness,
very important.
yeah. Right.
So it sounds like you're able to handle more stress and go through the daily life stress is easier if you just get some proper sleep.
Yes, and like the stress is gonna be in you. This is a part of life. Life is not like a straight line.
Yes.
You're gonna be ups and downs. But we're learning, the Ayurvedic expression is life is like a river. So if you look at the river, it looks stagnant, but it's constantly flowing.
Mm-hmm.
So if you learn how to float on top of it, rather than going with the deep and going up, then you're gonna have a problem.
Yes.
But you take it easy. Yes, you know the corners. This is the corners, and you stay in those corners. You'll be perfectly
You'll be
fine.
fine. All right. So I know you spoke about a ritual that you and your wife do. That sounds really nice.
Yeah.
What are some other rituals that people can do to implement? Sorry, I'll start over. So it sounds like there are some rituals that you mentioned that you and your wife do that sound really nice. What are some rituals that people can implement to increase their quality of sleep?
So one thing which most of the time people when they have sleep issues, some things are bothering them. So what I tell myself, I do that too. Write down on paper. I have a diary next to my bedroom all the time.
Right.
And if anything, oh my God, I need to write a prescription. Being a physician, that's also on my mind.
Yes.
Oh, I did not send chart notes or blah, 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 So I write it down. The name of the patient, or make payment, or ask for this, being a physician, I always actually, this is my worries. If my patient got the prescription or
Yes.
did we respond to the request, those kind of stuff. And then, there can be other thing too, family matters. And
Yes.
so usually if you look at that sums it up, those are the things which are going to bother you. Write it down. Next day you go and you cross it out what you've done and you put to the next day which you have not done. Now you have done something to take care of that. So when you write down 50% things that get done immediately, just writing down. Then, make the temperature of the room cooler because our body temperature is hot, 98.4, and you cannot sleep in 98.4.
No.
So you need a cooler. So I like around 66, 65, maybe cooler for me. When my kids come from Dallas, that's a little cold for them. So there may be a 70
Right.
temperature for them. So cooler temperature naturally promote, I know you may have all noticed that when you sleep in a cool weather, you sleep well.
Yes.
Hot weather does not give you good sleep. So very simple thing which you can do. Make the rooms dark, it should be covered because you don't want to have the light effect. Even your computers and laptops and cell phones and TV monitors, they emit these blue lights and which interfere the production of melatonin.
Right.
Your body when you're going to sleep producing your melatonin. And that body has to lower your cortisol level to the lowest level to kick in the melatonin in you. So if you're still wrapped up in here, you're not going to kick into that lowest gear of cortisol and then melatonin is not going to secrete. So very important that we go into the lowest level of cortisol. So no thought process going and, calming down, maybe do some breathing exercises, maybe do some meditation routine. There are lots of apps, and I think we will put some there in the monitor there. And it doesn't matter, if you like some your routine, you have your own, you follow that routine, and that will be very, very helpful too.
Some rituals that I've implemented myself and have found useful for patients as well is adding a warm bath right before you go to sleep, adding some lavender oil in that. Putting lavender oil or a spray on.
There's also studies available on
yes.
that. Very beautiful studies. Yeah.
Link some studies down below as well.
Yeah.
Another thing is solfeggio frequencies. So sound has, a lot of healing properties.
That's
it can
right.
also help you sleep. So listening to that as you're falling asleep, just make sure it goes off so you're not, stimulating your mind in the middle of your sleep because you don't want that either.
Yeah, soothing kind of music.
Soothing
not,
music.
Yeah, not very. You don't want to have like a explosive music,
No rock, no metal.
Exactly.
But solfeggio frequencies, I'll link down below as well, the name of it, so people can implement that if you need it.
People has there's studies published on Mozart, Indian classical
music,
and they have sound very calming effect on you. So that may be the one thing which people can try. And it's free. There's everything available on YouTube these days.
Everything.
So so amazing the tools which we have today.
And just making sure, like Dr. Sodhi mentioned, making sure to stay away from any kind of blue light emitting technology. So no cell phones, no tablets, no TVs, definitely no TVs in your space, for at least, I would say, 60 to 90 minutes.
Yeah, I will say couple hours at
Couple
least.
of hours.
Yeah, because your body can get revved up in when you absorb the photon of that energy, your eyes are reacting. So we need to stay away from that one. So I try to shut off my computers by 8 o'clock. I go to bed by 10 o'clock.
Perfect.
So that's, I think, which we can all implement very easy.
Right.
Again, avoid stimulants, coffee,
Yes.
tea, green tea. But it maybe some people has an opposite effect to coffee. People who are hyper, are ADHD kind of people, they may relax with coffee.
Yes.
So it will be different, but majority of the time, coffee will bother people or caffeine will bother people. So they can have chamomile tea, they can have lemon balm tea, mint tea. Actually, all the mint family, even tulsi, has a calming effect on you. So there are also herbs like ashwagandha, which has a calming effect on you too. Saffron has a calming effect on you too. We also have a smoothie which I encourage people to make, which you put almonds and poppy seeds and pumpkin seeds, and you blend it together. You put a little bit of cardamom powder, saffron, and sweeten up with some honey, and drink at night, and you can promote your natural hormones. Melatonin triggers that in you, and you have a good sleep without getting any sleeping pill.
Perfect.
We'll put the recipe down.
Yes, that's great. Actually, that's a great lead into the next question I have. How can naturopathic and Ayurvedic medicine and herbs help better the quality of sleep?
So the sleep quality is very important. Going into deep REM sleep is important. That's where the healing is going to happen. So the walk is really good. Evening walk, morning walk. There is a studies available when you do this, when the sun and moon are changing the union, that you're aligning your biorhythm with the circadian rhythms, and you create that behavior in you where you're secreting the lowest level of cortisol and the highest amount of cortisol in the morning. So very simple, which you can do, and it can be stroll kind of walk, not like a running kind of walk.
Right,
Because leisure walk, because you don't want to be running, because then you're also revving up more cortisol. Massage is very helpful. Body rub on your head, oil rub on your head. You talk about the lukewarm bath will be good. Some people put their feet. Actually, I come from the mountains of Himalayas, and it was a ritual when you go, because people are walking a lot uphill, the climbs and all this stuff. So they have hot water, put some salt in there, and they soak the feet and wash it up. And it's very relaxing and very, very easy to do it. But if you're very revved up, then you can use a cold shower to the feet. There is in Ayurvedic medicine, we also do like Shirodhara for the head, but we also do the Shirodhara for the foot. That's called the Pad Dhara, so Pad means pair, the foot, and so you're dropping the water on the foot, and which has also a kind of calming effect on the whole body. So those kind of small rituals can be done to help promote a good sleep.
Also, Ayurvedic and naturopathic therapies can really help with serious issues like insomnia, sleep apnea, anxiety, stress, all these big problems that aren't letting people sleep at night.
That's right.
So definitely, talk to your naturopathic and Ayurvedic physician about some options.
Yeah, most of the time when you have sleep apnea, you overweight.
Yes.
When you lose your weight, they sleep. And I've seen so many people who have surgeries done, to shrink their turbinates and the sinuses. Very less success. So I rather, not go under the knife, rather do my due diligence to improve the quality of sleep by falling simple, losing weight. And it should be slow and progressive. You should not be trying to lose weight, 50 pounds in 1 month and then, gain that back up. Maybe keep a goal of 4 pounds maximum a month if you're that much overweight, or maybe lesser than that, but progressive. You go on making a progress, and that's the best way of losing weight and staying away from that, gaining it back.
And like you spoke earlier, your naturopath or your Ayurvedic physician would be able to tell you about foods that promote sleep versus not promoting sleep. So like you mentioned, the milk recipe that will provide, or like small amounts of dark chocolate can also help provide melatonin.
Yeah, but also can stimulate some people.
Yes.
So we have to be a little careful about that. Yeah, but milk also promote, if you're not allergic to milk, has promotes melatonin. There are lots of fruits which nuts and seeds which promote your melatonin production naturally. Pineapple, bananas. So those things can be added up, and even in general, the carby food also promote naturally tryptophan in you, and also helps the melatonin production. So you can use the science a little bit behind it to how to promote the good deep sleep.
Now I know why we always get sleepy after lunch, with all
Carbs.
all those carbs.
Exactly.
All right. So we also recently spoke about doshas in our previous 2 videos. What are some tips that you might have for specifically Vata or Pitta or Kapha people for their sleep habits?
So Vata constitution, body type, they usually are very jumpy, movement factor. Lot of thought process, lot of ideas comes to them. So they need to calm down more. So more meditation, more breathing exercises to calm them down. Oil in their food, because they are very dry prone. So oil also makes you like grounded and promote more good sleep. So Vata people need around 6 hours of sleep. And the important thing is that we need to match the sun cycle and the moon cycle. So it needs to be in the bed by 10 o'clock, almost for all body types. And then you can wake up around 6 o'clock or 4 o'clock. Vata people can get by 6 hours of sleep, but they need at least 6 hours of solid sleep. Minimum. Pitta people can get by 7 hours of sleep. Kapha people need 8 hours of sleep. They go into more sleep cycle anyway. But also when you are in a Vata phase, you will have insomnia. Because your body is too triggered.
Right.
When you are in Pitta phase, you will also have insomnia because the irritability. So watch which phase you're going through. You can be Vata, Pitta, Kapha, but if you're going through that anxiety, fear will trigger your Vata. If you're going anger, frustration, irritability, you're going into Pitta area. So watch what your body is doing, what your mind is playing. So be mindful, as we say. What that means is that you be aware what's going on with me.
Pay attention to your body.
Pay attention to your body. Pay attention to your thought process. Because thoughts become physiological functions in our body. So we wanted to pay attention to that one. So that's very important for us too. And then when you wake up in the middle of night, a lot of time people ask what I can do. In Ayurvedic medicine, we have a left nostril breathing and right nostril breathing. The right nostril breathing is stimulating, and it stimulates the solar energy in us.
Okay.
The left is a cooling, and it stimulates the moon energy in us.
Okay.
So when you like a moon and the sleep, you got that connection.
Yes.
So when we breathe through the in and out through the left nostril, we are stimulating the moon energy. So we'll sync. So when you're not sleeping, you can get up, or you can be lying down and do it. Breathe through the in and out through your left nostril.
So you're plugging your right nostril with your thumb and having your 4 open, and then breathing in. Breathing out also through the left.
That's right. So that actually triggers you can repeat until you feel heavy and ready to sleep.
Okay.
So, simple, easy, rather than popping in a pill.
Yes.
The over-the-counter, which are mostly antihistamines, and even prescription drugs, are not really good. Long-term effects are very, very bad.
Yes.
I'm not against using short-term, but long-term use are very, very bad.
Yes.
So we don't want to use that.
I have a couple of friends who used to use Benadryl just to fall asleep, and it really affects your memory and your brain function.
Yeah.
Another tip I remember you had told me recently when I was traveling to India was, looking at the sun and the moon cycle. Can you talk about that a little
Exactly.
bit?
So when you're traveling, especially to other countries, even in America too, there's this time zones here too. So your orientation to sun is changing. So you're used to I'm in Washington State, so I'm oriented to the Washington sun moon. When I'm going to say Dallas, we have a 2-hour time difference. So the sun orientation is changed. So what I do is I go there and I look at the sun and I close my eyes until it become pitch dark, and then again look at the sun, let the light come again, go to the pitch dark, and repeat for 5-10 minutes. So now my pineal gland is oriented to that place.
Right.
I've used this, when I was traveling internationally, New Zealand, Australia, Europe, India. I immediately, same day, I fall into sync with that place. So it's easy to do, nothing very difficult. You're not popping in any pill.
Right.
You're making you sync with that cycle at that place. Simple.
It's a pro traveling tip right here.
Exactly.
But even when you're not traveling and you're just, not being able to fall asleep, then it's helpful to do that in the morning. But also you mentioned at the sunset time.
Exactly. Yeah, the best time, again, we are changing the cycle of sun and moon. And those two energies are very important.
Right.
The sun energy in the morning wake you up ready for the day. The moon energy, repair the body and healing of the whole system. And if you have the balance of those two, you're going to be healthy and lesser disease going to come to you.
So I should repeat that in the morning, sunrise, and then again sunset.
Exactly. And there is actually also studies published on the moon walk. People when they walk in the moon, or sun walking is also important too, because we can get triggered vitamin D.
Yes.
And I think we talked about in one of the videos that when people are sitting under the tree shade, they are absorbing far infrared spectrum, which is stimulating the melatonin in the cells. And that melatonin in the cell is helping mitochondria to get clean.
Right.
So, we have lived with the sun and the moon for millions of years. The DNA in me knows everything about it.
Yes.
Because my DNA is not new. It is, I don't know how many trillion million years, we have no idea about it. Recycled. So that's why I think in Vedic philosophy they say we never die.
Yes.
We go recycle. We recycle. So we have that rebirth philosophy. And if you look at, we are, when I'm passing my DNA to next generation, and we're creating that cycle of that.
Another question I actually had, this is something that a lot of people have different opinions on. So I can look at the sun for 5-10 minutes, uncovering and covering. Can you speak on why that is actually okay for us to do? Because growing up, I'm sure a lot of us have heard, never look at the sun directly.
Yeah. So the early and evening moon is not as hot. That's only done in the early morning and evening. Okay. And you're looking at just temporary. You're not 5-10 minutes it gives you. You look at it, you see the bright light, then you close and you go to the pitch dark. So there should be no stars looking in your eyes. When you get the pitch dark, then open up eye again. And then close it again. So it should be short. So basically the retina is same thing as your plant leaf. It does photosynthesis, by the way. Okay. So we are absorbing the energy in the retina, and that absorption of that energy has a lot more functionality in the body. And there is actually also a ritual. I think you come from the Pandit families. We give the water to the sun in the morning.
Yes.
And when you're dropping the water, you look through the water to the sun. And so now what's going on, the rays of the sun is getting reflected because that water make kind of beam, and it becomes like that lens for us, which is striking your retina at a different angle and promote. It was actually considered very healthy to do it.
Right.
So every family in the morning, they just do water to the sun. So beneficial effect is health. So it's not that we're throwing the water, because sun energy is considered very heating.
Yes.
You're cooling it up for yourself.
Oh, wow.
And plus also re-stimulating your retina at a different level and promoting more helpful tips for you.
Okay, that is good to know. Perfect. And then last topic, we recently released a video on seasons that we should change our sleep habits for.
Yeah.
Any tips on, fall, winter, spring, summer? How should we be changing our sleeping habits?
So right now we're in through summer, okay? So more sunlight.
Yes.
So what happens is, the days go longer, and so it's not a bad idea to take some nap in the summer weather. And actually, you might have seen, you naturally get afternoons, you get a little sleepy. That's a naturally, natural. So it's okay. But again, if you're a kapha personality and you wake up with a lot of mucus, maybe not the best thing for you. So watch for that. But nap should be not more than 15-20 minutes. If you're sleeping 1 hour, you're disturbing your sleep pattern at night.
Okay.
So it should be short and sweet, so that your body get energetic. The Pitta people will have problem with the heat, so they should be careful in the summer weather. And kapha people can enjoy it because they have a cold, natural cold, and they can enjoy that one. In the winter, the sun shrinks in a way, so we have less sunlight, and so you need to have a deep sleep, going to bed early around 9ish or 10 o'clock, and waking up by 6 o'clock. Very important. And then again, I'm of the great opinion that we should enjoy early morning walk.
Yes.
Go out and walk. The first thing when I wake up, I go out and just go on my porch, and open up the window there and take the fresh air in you and just look at the sun and close my eyes. So I'm trying to make that relationship established with that moment at that time. So very simple, easy technique which you can do to promote yourself more health.
Perfect. Thank you for all of these tips. If you like this video, please comment, subscribe, share with your loved ones, and if there's something specific you'd like to see, let us know and we can work on that. Great, thank you.
Thank you.